Why do I like food? I like the sensation of chewing. I like the smelling of food. I like the texture of food. So for me, going out to eat, which I love to do, it has to be good food. I went to culinary school at El Paso Community College after I retired from teaching. I delayed the retirement from teaching because I didn't know what I was going to do. And I went to a fundraiser for KCOS at the community college, and they took us on a tour of their culinary school. And as I finished that tour, I went home and I told my husband, I'm going to retire because I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to culinary school. One interesting thing is one of the teachers, one of the chefs at community college, was a student I taught in elementary school. So when he walked into the classroom, his eyes got big and my eyes got big, and all he could say was, Mrs. Sweisford. And it took him all semester before he could call me Patricia. So then, after I finished the coursework, I learned the restaurant business was not for me. We had several classes that we had to work in the kitchen at the community college, and it was too physically draining for me. I mean, I was already in my 60s, and I just couldn't stand the heat in the kitchen. So there was no way for me to decide that I'm going to go to work again. But I did end up in a kitchen with my friend, Roman Wilcox, who was the chef at the Mustard Seed. So Roman and I worked for several years at the Mustard Seed, and now he has opened his other business called One Grub Community. But he doesn't need my help anymore because I was a volunteer and now he has paid employees. Roman has become a plant-based chef. Everything he makes now is based on plants. He's no longer, well, he does eat meat, but he no longer serves meat. And so part of his experience is the food he makes, everything has to have wonderful taste, wonderful texture, and be healthy for you. And it is. So my husband is not much of a planty person, but I always bring food home, excuse me, and he always says, this is good. So I have to message Roman and let him know, Raymond likes your food, Roman. I did have one professor at community college who later on went to cook at a local restaurant, and he said, you need to come down and eat. And I said, I'm only going to eat if the food is really good. And he said, I promise you, Patricia, it will be good. And it was, and it's one of my favorite places to eat now. I love the tapas at Tabla. That chef has moved on to other places, but I have found that the food scene in El Paso has changed considerably. It's taken a long time, but a lot of the people that are running the restaurants now have gone through the cooking experience in the local high schools. And they have been in the teachers at the high schools. So one of my professors at community college was working in the culinary program at Montwood, and he now owns his own restaurants, Zeno's, okay? And so anytime I go to Zeno's, he comes out and we say hi, and he asks me how I'm doing. Again, there's Roman. He's got his restaurant, and a lot of the people that he knows are the same chefs that he went to school with and have opened up places here in town. So El Paso is starting. It's taking a long time, but we're on our way. We really are. Because I live in Central, I don't like to travel too far for food. And the east side, I know there's good places there, but it's just too far. The traffic is too bad. So when I do go out, I usually go to some of the same places. Of course, Mexican food, I go to Kiki's. I like their red cheese enchiladas. If I go to Tabla, then I'm going to have several of their tapas. And I usually pick certain ones that I always get because I know they're always good, and then I decide, okay, I'm going to try something else. I frequent one of my places downtown that I met the owner and the chef when he was like 7 years old, and now he has his own place downtown, and it's just a seafood place. It's called Max downtown, and he makes a salmon with spinach that's just out of this world. So like once a week I go down there, and he'll always say, I was thinking about you, that you'd be coming in.